Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I have a question. Do you have idea about diabetes statistics in world? So there are 422 million people worldwide have diabetes. And 1.6 million deaths are directly attributed to diabetes each year. That number just keeps going up if our eating habits do not change in the next few decades. That will be 1 in 3. That means it will likely be somebody you know and love, or it might be you. In today's video I am going to share 7 evidence-based benefits of reducing your sugar intake. Before we begin, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and you click that bell to get notified of all videos. Hello, welcome back to the Before we get into this video, I need to mention one very important thing. This video is talking about reducing your added sugar intake. So added sugar is the sugar that you find in processed foods such as breakfast cereals, candies, things like that. It's also sugar that could be in home cooking. So it could be sugar that you're adding to your baking or to your tea, things like that are added sugar. And this video talks about reducing added sugar. Let's dive into the video. Number 1. Reducing sugar intake may reduce acne and help you get clearer skin. There is some research that shows that people who consume more added sugar tend to have a higher risk of acne. In one 2012 study, teenagers who consumed added sugar more frequently had a 30% greater risk of developing acne. Now, does this mean that sugar causes acne? There is an association: more sugar, more likelihood of acne. I think the best thing you can do is to try it out on yourself. Reduce your added sugar intake and see if it makes a difference to your skin. Number 2. If you're struggling with your weight, try to reduce your sugar intake, especially the beverages, because that is where it's very easy to overdo the sugar and overdo the calories. Now, there is also evidence to show that people who consume more sugar in the form of beverages, sugary beverages, tend to have more belly fat, so there is definitely benefit to reducing the added sugar. Number 3. Reducing your sugar intake can give you better energy levels. Basically, more stable energy levels when you eat a diet that's high in added sugar and refined carbs. So I do think that there's a lot of benefit in reducing your added sugar intake, as well as a refined carb intake, so that your energy levels are not fluctuating as much. When you have wild fluctuations in your blood sugar level, you're going to have fluctuations in your energy level. And if you want to stabilize that, the best thing you can do, reduce that added sugar and reduce. Number 4. Reducing your sugar intake may help avoid premature skin aging. So skin aging is a normal part of life. We're all going to age. There's nothing wrong with it. We're all going to get wrinkles. But premature skin aging is something all of us want to avoid. So what causes premature skin aging? Well, lots of things, and one of them is. Number 5. Reducing your sugar intake can reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes is a complex disease dependent on many different things. Your diet, your lifestyle, your stress levels, genetics, lots of different things. What does the science have to say about sugar? Now, while sugar is not the cause of type 2 diabetes, that is not clear in the science. There is an association. People who have more added sugar, especially in the form of beverages, tend to have a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. So if you are worried about type 2 diabetes, it is a good idea to reduce your added sugar intake, and also your refined carbohydrate intake. It's a very important thing to reduce my risk. If you didn't know, type 2 diabetes does have a potential genetic link. In one study, they found that people who had one parent with type 2 diabetes had a 40% greater risk of type 2 diabetes, and people who had 2 parents with type 2 diabetes had a 70% greater risk. Number 6. Intake can lower your risk of depression and may result in better moods. So consuming a lot of processed foods, especially the sugary kinds, has been shown to increase the risk of depression. So if that is something that you are concerned about, it is a good idea to reduce your added sugar intake. And the reason why a lot of processed foods are linked to depression is probably because you're not getting enough nutrients. When you eat a lot of processed foods, your diet is not as nutrient dense as it could be if you eat more whole foods. Number 7. Reducing your added sugar intake can reduce the risk of heart disease. So heart disease is dependent on many different things. But there is some evidence to show that people who eat the most sugar tend to have as higher risk of heart disease. In one 2014 study that looked at 30,000 people, they found that those who consumed 17 to 21 of their calories from added sugars had a 38% greater risk of dying from heart disease, compared to those that consumed less added sugar. So if you have heart disease in the family, or you're just worried about heart disease in general, it is a good idea to reduce your added sugar intake.